Why your tax refund might be a lot less this year. New $450 inflation relief checks going out for millions of Americans we'll talk about here in this video. And, well, will we have another massive government shutdown? We'll talk about all that here and a lot more in this video. If you're new to my channel, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so you don't miss out on new videos. And also thanks for liking and sharing these videos. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. Let's jump right in. Republican leader Mitch McConnell says, quote, time is ticking for Congress to pass a budget bill, a government funding bill. And Mitch McConnell says the leaders in both parties are still at a pretty significant impasse for the funding negotiations. But Kevin McCarthy, who's seen here in this video, the leader of the Republicans in the House of Representatives, who will now be the majority leader or the speaker in the House, probably for the Republicans, says that Republicans shouldn't negotiate with the Democrats until they actually come into the new Congress in January, because then Republicans will have an upper hand and have more negotiating leverage. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. The Democrats want to negotiate on multiple different things before the year is over. Uh, I'll go over several of them here right now because a lot of them could put money in your pockets. One of them up to $3,600 for millions of Americans. There's adult tax credits here as well. And Republicans want to negotiate on a corporate tax cut that is coming up for renewal. And there's really a lot that they're going to try to get done here before the end of the year because, well, Democrats know that their time is up for now, at least in the House of Representatives. But in all reality, not a lot's changing because they have to remember that before this, 99.9% of bills needed Republican and Democratic support in the Senate. Okay, you needed 60 votes in the Senate. So really, you needed to negotiate. You needed to negotiate to pass bills. The only bills that you could pass on your own by a party were the reconciliation bills. Okay, so really, you still need to get a handful of Republican support or Democratic support to pass pretty much any bill. And that won't be that different. It won't be that different. You're going to need to get a handful of the other party to pass bills in Congress. And that's been that way for quite some time. Quite some time. So we'll see here, but we are at a little bit of an impasse for the government funding. We could see a shutdown or a continuing resolution or a punting on some of this stuff. But the end of the year kind of deadline for a lot of this stuff is coming very soon, and I'll keep you up to date here. Yeah, as you can see here, tax refund sticker shock is going to be coming for millions of Americans, especially if Congress can't agree on some things potentially before the end of the year. While less money back is expected in 2023, here's details on some of these items here. Tax refunds are a big silver lining of enduring winter, especially if you're in one of the northern states with, basically half the year of cold weather. But if you're expecting a big check in 2023, be prepared to see less than previous years, at least for some people. Here's why. Experts and even the IRS are warning that tax refund sticker shock will happen early next year for 2022 returns because some pandemic benefits that padded refund checks expired in the 2021 filing season. That included the expanded child tax credit, child and dependent care credits, federal stimulus payments, and adding to the bad news, quote, if you tend to owe come tax season, you might owe more in 2023 because you won't be eligible for as many credits. Quote, add a lot of things going on during the pandemic have been brought back down for the most part to 2019 levels. Here are some of the most pressing issues to consider this tax season and up for deal making in Congress. Reduction in tax credits. The American Rescue Plan of 2021, which was passed by reconciliation by the Democrats, helped parents and caregivers with certain credits, but those did not extend to the filing tax season this year. While providers were able to claim $3,600, it really should say this is for children um, under the age of 6. I guess it kind of does in 2021. That credit will now go back to $2,000 for filing this year. This is where everybody got all worked up and saying, I remember everybody saying that, oh, these monthly payments aren't anything new. You're just getting your money in advance. And I try to tell everybody, no, that's not the case. You're getting a lot more money. You're getting a lot more money because they increased it from $2,000 to $3,000 per child for ages 6 through 17, and from $2,000 to $3,600 for children under the age of 6. So it's like 75 or 80% more. I don't remember the exact number for children under the age of 6, and it's 50% more for children above the age of 6. Now they haven't been able to pass it, largely because of, well, Joe Manchin, and no Republicans voted for it. However, Republicans didn't vote for it just because, well, the whole Republican Democrat thing. There are Republicans in support of this, and there is Republicans want to make a deal potentially. Republicans, there's a 2017 Trump tax cut coming up for renewal right now for corporations, and it's tens of billions of dollars. It's somewhere close to $100 billion of tax cuts for corporations that's up for renewal here by the end of the year. Democrats are saying they're not going to pass it. Now, not all Democrats, but I mean, not every Democrat has spoken on the issue. But they're saying that, well, if you want us to pass your corporate tax cut, we're wanting some things in return, including the adult tax credit for low income earners and also the child tax credit, $3,000 to $3,600. So that is something they're working on right now and could be passed by the end of the year. So when you go to file your taxes, remember you had to file your taxes for the child tax credits last year. Yeah, you could have got the monthly checks without filing taxes, but you would have wanted to file taxes anyways, even if you're not required to, because you get the other half of the money afterwards, even if you're not required to file taxes. There's a lot of people, hopefully I've pounded this into a lot of people's heads, because if you don't file taxes, you're still missing out on $1,500 to $1,800 per child. So even if you're not required to file taxes, you probably should anyways, because you're going to miss out on $1,500 to $1,800 for last year. Okay. Same thing with this next upcoming year. No matter if they don't pass it or do pass it, if they don't pass the child tax credit like larger increase, it's still going to be $2,000 a child. It's going to be a lot less, but you're still going to need to file taxes to get the $2,000 per child. So keep that in mind. There's also there was the child and dependent care credits, which was bumped up to $8,000 for one child and $16,000 for two child. This is for, I think this is for child care, if you paid for child care and dependent care, and will now go back all the way down to $3,000 and $6,000. So that's a lot less. Yeah, child and dependent care. So child care and dependent care. So you can, that's a write-off there that you can get, but will be a lot less. Third-party tax payment. Yeah, I did a video on this. I'll link you to this video here at the end of this system. If you use, or at the end of this video, if you use payment services such as PayPal or Venmo, doing transactions totaling over $300 and $600 in aggregate annually, will now trigger the issuance of a 1099-K form. Effectively, this means that you will be expected to detail your business transactions on these platforms and to report any profitable gains as income. Previously, this threshold had been set at $20,000, and basically, these companies will be reporting this income to the IRS via a 1099, and you would have to pay taxes on it because they're reporting it to the IRS with a 1099. So they're reporting it to the IRS and saying, hey, we think this is income, and it's your responsibility to say whether or not it is or isn't income. I'll link you to a video I just did on that. Really good video. Charitable deductions are now more difficult. In 2021, a charitable deduction of $300 or $600 for a married couple was able to be claimed even if you didn't itemize, and instead took the standard deduction. Now this is no longer the case. However, the IRS did indicate some good news regarding deductions. Married couples filing jointly will be allowed a standard deduction of $27,700, which is up $1,800. And for single taxpayers and spouses filing separately, the standard deduction is up $900 per person to $13,850. For single head of households, that's $20,800, up $1,400. So anybody who files or claims the standard deduction, that has gone up. So that is one good thing. So let me know your thoughts here on this. Congress would need to pass some stuff. Republicans and Democrats come together to help out Americans so that they would get or not get hurt as bad on taxes. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts. Herschel Walker's son, Herschel Walker, the Republican candidate for Senate in Georgia, who just was declared, he lost the election. Herschel Walker's son says Trump called his father, called Herschel Walker for months, demanding that he run. And Herschel Walker's son says, quote, this is his actual quote, while everyone with a brain begged him not to. You guys can let me know your thoughts on this. Herschel Walker's son said his father ran in the Georgia's U.S. Senate race after his former President Donald Trump spent months demanding he do so, even as others begged Walker not to enter the race over his, quote, insane past. The Democrat Reverend Raphael Warnock defeated him and has been declared the winner. Walker's campaign had been marked by allegations including that he paid for women to have abortion despite taking a strict stance against abortion. His son, Christian Walker, tweeted that his father had rejected calls not to run after Trump repeatedly told him to enter the race, saying, quote, the truth, Trump called my dad for months demanding that he run. Everyone with a brain begged him, please don't do this. This is too dirty. You have an insane past. Please don't do this. We got the middle finger and he ran. There's also some other quotes that I probably shouldn't read on camera, but you guys can let me know your thoughts here on that. More inflation relief checks could be coming here. Governor Mills proposes sending $450 checks to Mainers to help with energy costs, as winter is going to have high energy costs for a lot of states. We're starting to see this here for winter here. And here's the details on this, and hopefully we'll see this from more states as well. Governor Janet Mills released her proposal to provide heating assistance to Mainers this winter and says the plan includes sending $450 checks to about 880,000 eligible Mainers. Quote, inflation and high energy prices are stretching the wallets of Maine people, in some cases forcing them to face impossible choices of heating their homes, putting food on the table, or paying for other necessities. With this plan, we hope to ease the burden on Maine people by putting money back into their pockets so that they can better afford these costs, and by ensuring that our most vulnerable citizens are able to stay warm this winter. This approach builds on the nation's leading inflation relief measure, incorporates Republican feedback, and represents the most direct way to get help to Maine people as we work to bring down energy costs in the long term. I asked the legislature to pass this plan with two-thirds support needed to enact as an emergency measure so that we can get this relief into the hands of Maine people without delay. If they can pass this $450 winter energy relief payment will be distributed beginning in mid-January, so next month, not that far away. This would actually be $450 per person, amounting to $900 for the average Maine family. Wow, pretty good. Also, next week, the Department of Health and Human Services will provide one-time payments of $500 to about 13,000 households that include low-income Maine people aged 65 or older to help them pay for home heating costs. Maine also had over 850,000 people receive $850 inflation relief checks or stimulus checks, whatever you want to call them, per person. So married couples got $1,700. I would love to see more and more states do this. Remember here, this was earlier, so you could see this article dated November 1st. These payments went out earlier this year, but remember that there was about 35 states or so that passed some form of inflation relief, state stimulus check, property tax relief, and some form of checks similar to this here. Obviously, each state is different, but I'll keep you up to date here on this. Some checks are already in the works for 2023. Hopefully, next year we see 50 states or something like that, or really 35 states was pretty good. Last year, the year before, we only had a few states. But remember that we also have $13 billion of utility assistance on the federal level. Pretty much every single state, I think every state has utility assistance. All you need to do is just go to Google and type in HEAP, HEAP program, or LIHEAP, LIHEAP program, and then your state. So you can apply for heating and utility assistance program in your state. So that's going on right now. It was literally just started in November and December, depending on your state, December 1st and November 1st. So you can get that or go apply for it if you're low income. So read the comments down below. I've seen so many people say, literally thousands of people say that yes, they have gotten this and you can get this every single year. So it's the HEAP program, HEAP, and LIHEAP, LIHEAP. And I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. So if you haven't yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here on our YouTube channel. I'll keep you up to date here with all new things like this that come out. Click the bell icon after you subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos that come out 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day. Thanks for liking and sharing these videos as well. You can click here to watch my newest video next. Or here's my newest video on Social Security raises and payment dates. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.